Hi there, welcome back. This short class around bridge pose is a really nice way of resettling the mind. We're going to do a breathing practice at the beginning to really focus the attention, and bridge pose will help you to kind of really get a burst of energy, really reset the nervous system and help to build a bit of energy. If you're feeling a bit sluggish and tired, it can be a nice kind of reset. So the way this works is that when you're doing a bridge pose correctly, or really working into a deep bridge pose, you really draw the shoulders right back behind you, and then using the resistance of the ground, really open up the chest. So this opens up the sternum, the heart, where we contain and hold a lot of prana and energy, and it can get a bit collapsed in for lots of reasons. So when you take a really deep back bend like bridge and work on it for a little while, you can really help the energy to move in the body. So should be refreshing. Let's start lying down with this breathing practice. So you'll want to block for part of this, or if you have a bolster, that'll work as well, something to put under your hips. So just come down onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, so constructive rest. Rest your hands on your body, so chest or belly, wherever they settle. Let your elbows rest down, and we'll just take a couple of minutes here to settle, to find your way back to your body. So slow down your breath. Feel the inhale bringing attention into your body. So the inhale brings you into a sense of your body, feeling yourself. The exhale allows you to release deeper into the ground, relaxing down into the earth. Inhaling into your body. Exhaling down into the ground. Just a couple more breaths like that, feeling into your body, let the inhale and your awareness coming together into your body. And then the exhale and tension release down into the earth, dropping down. Letting your hands rest out on your hip bones, so elbows move out a bit, and just take a few tilts and tucks in the pelvis here. On the inhale, tilting the pelvis away, drawing the chest open, and exhaling, flattening the back, tucking the tail in a little, and feeling the shoulder blades come down onto the ground. Take a few breaths like this, inhaling, tilting pelvis away, chest open, exhaling, feeling the belly contract in and back, spine towards the ground. Okay, and then bring your arms down beside you. Step the feet a little bit closer to your hips so they're right underneath the knees. And then on the inhale, I want you to just lift your hips up. So come into a rolling bridge. Lift the hips up off the ground, come up onto the shoulders. Just gently there, and then exhale, roll your spine down. The next time you do this, bring your arms up with your hips. So on the inhale, your hips and arms come up, and keep drawing the arms right over the head so your arms end up on the ground either side of your head. And then on the exhale, you lower your hips and your arms down, and see if you can land the hips and the hands at around the same moment. So your hips take a little longer to come down there. And do that a couple of times, inhaling, rolling hips up and arms up overhead. On the inhale, take the whole inhale to get there. And then take the whole exhale to lower down, bringing the hands and hips down at about the same moment. One more of those, inhaling up. See if you can really focus on your breath, focus on your movement, slowing, smoothing out. Exhaling, lowering down. And as you lower down, draw your knees into your chest. So the hands kind of grab the knees on their way down and pull the knees in, and that's the end of the exhale. The inhale then, the feet go up into the air and the arms come up alongside the head. So you're straightening arms and legs at the end of the inhale. And then exhale, bend your knees and place your feet back down under the knees with the hands coming down to their starting position. And they take the whole exhale, and then inhale, hips and arms come up. So gradually take the inhale to raise arms and back up. And then exhale, lowering down, and on the journey down, the knees draw in and the hands pull the knees into the chest. Straightening legs and arms on the inhale, and again smoothing out. The more you smooth your movement, the more your mind will settle and come into the practice. So really controlling your steady, smooth movements, slowing your movement. Inhaling, hips and arms up. And knees into chest. Feet and arms up. And hands and feet down. Nearly there. We'll do one more round just to settle and slow down just that little bit more. So hips and arms up again. Smooth out the breath, smooth out the movement. Take the whole inhale to get there. Knees into chest. And then arms and feet up. Straighten the legs a little bit more, push the heels away, and then lower, feet and hands down. So just take a moment there, settling, feel the quality of your mind and your breathing now. And we'll just begin some little movements for bridge pose. So we're starting to build up the ability of the shoulders to tuck under. So notice how just when you were moving there, we'll just do this once or twice, that you can lift your hips up without your shoulders going under your back. So lift the hips up and you can feel your arms can just stay beside you on the ground. So the difference with bridge pose is that we're going to try and get the arms to come actually underneath the back so that your shoulders are tucking right underneath you. So that's why it's called four-footed pose, is because the shoulders act like feet, and you'll feel that in a moment. So just start here by keeping the hips on the ground and popping the chest up. So it's that tilt and tuck movement again, but the chest pops up, and just do that a couple of times. Pop the chest up and then release it down. So can you feel the upper, mid and upper back coming up off the ground? The back of the head is still on the ground, hips are still on the ground. And then chest comes up again, inhale. And this time as the chest comes up, can you tuck the left arm underneath your back a bit there, and then release it. And then pop the chest up and tuck the right arm. So you roll to the left and see if you can kind of tuck the right arm underneath your back and then release. Okay, and then just lift your hips up slightly and then slide the left arm down and see if you can tuck the left arm underneath you. So it slides down and tucks under, and then release and lower the hips, and do that on the other side. So lift the hips. Slide the right arm beside your body down towards the foot, and then try and slide the shoulder blade under. So it goes down and then under. And we'll do that again. So the hips come up a little and the hand slides down the mat, and then you roll your shoulder blade under your back and then release down. And then the same with the right arm. So hips up slightly, right hand down, right arm under. That's it. And then releasing. So we're going to start to do that there more at the same time with the arms. So pop your chest up again and really press your upper arm bones into the ground and start to kind of wriggle them under. So they're kind of walking, and they get a little bit stuck there under and beside the chest. And then lift your hips up and then see if you can slightly rock from side to side and tuck your arm bones underneath your chest so that your head is on the ground and you feel like you're actually resting on your arm bones. Then reach to the side of your mat and see if you can feel your fingertips on the edges of your mat. Tuck the edges of the mat under itself so you're making a fold, and grab hold of that fold. And then with the fold, see if you can, with that resistance, tuck your elbows in a bit more. elbows and upper arms in and in and in, and then lifting up through the hips. Keep the head still. You can release the hands off the edge of the mat. Take a breath, and then release your arm, release the other arm, and roll back down. So that's what we're trying to engineer, and just take a few breaths to see how that's feeling. And you should already feel it, almost like feeling a bit out of breath from the effort in the muscles, but also from the energy starting to stir in the body, and it'll start to really heat up and stir your energy, making this shape. So let's try that again. Step the feet in a little bit. So again, you're going to lift your chest first, then tuck the arms in a bit, then lift the hips. And then if you want to do the mat grabbing thing, if that helps to have some resistance to pull against, and roll your upper arms in and under, in and under. Keep walking, walking, and then release the hands off the mat. And then from here, lift your heels. And as you lift your heels, lift your chest even higher, and then lower the heels down. And then lift your heels, lift the chest higher, and keep the chest there as you lower your heels down and send the knees away from you. And one more, lift the heels, chest towards chin, knees away, heels down. Take another breath, deep breath in, and then release one arm, and then slide the other arm out. Roll your spine down. And take a few breaths. Close your eyes, see how that's feeling in your system. You should feel like there's a bit more stirring in the energy. So grab your block, your little yoga brick, and we'll use this and get a bit of a stretch in the front of the foot here as well. So if you have tension in your arches and your feet, this can be quite challenging. So have a go at it, but don't maybe expect to do it the first time. It might need a bit of practice. So we'll go to bridge pose again. So remember the sequence, chest coming up first. Keep the hips on the ground, tuck the arm bones in a bit so they start that journey under. And then lift the hips, and then continue walking the arms in, using the edge of the mat if you want to. Keep tucking, tucking, tucking. And then lift the hips. And now as you lift your heels, step your feet in a little bit more. Lift the heels, grab your block, and see if you can rest up onto the highest setting of the block under your sacrum. So put the block at its highest setting under the hip bones, and then see if you can put your heels down. Bring your arms alongside you, and you might even be able to feel the heels with the fingertips. Tuck the shoulders under. And now as you rest on your brick, it's not as hard for the body. You can stay a little longer here. Keep the chin in, feel the chest opening. Slow your breath. And then take the left foot and lift the heel off the left foot and walk the left toes in a bit more. So you're pointing and you're on the top of the left big toe. See if you can tuck the left foot underneath you. So you're tucking the foot beside the brick. So the left knee is working towards the ground away from you. You're pointing the toes and you're now resting on the top of the left foot. Give a stretch to the quads there. Take a breath. And then release that foot. Lift the right heel, point the toe and rest on the top of the big toe, and then tuck the foot in and underneath you. So you're resting on the top of the foot, and then extend the knee away. I'll take a couple of breaths there. And then releasing your foot and lift the heels, remove the block, and release your shoulders, lower your back down bit by bit. Stretch out the legs and take a moment just resting in that energy from bridge pose. So we're going to come to plow pose and shoulder stand next, to work with the stretching of the back the other way. So we've had the chest up towards the chin. Now we're going to bring the feet over the head. So the best way to do this, if you can, is try and create a little momentum. So you rock your feet over your head. So you're rolling on your spine until your feet come to the ground, over your head or towards the ground. You can hold your hips. Now one little tip here, so play with that and roll a few times. If you can't get the bum off the ground and it's really hard to get the feet over the head, then you can use the wall. If you come to a bit of wall close to you, you don't need much space there. You just bring the feet to the wall and then push the wall with your feet, and that'll get your hips up. Then once you're holding your hips, you can start to swing the feet over the head that way. And we'll come to shoulder stand and join you there in a moment. So you can use the wall if that's better for you, or you can just use the mat. And let's come to plow pose. So you're rolling over. Hold your hips and see if you can let the feet come over as far as they can. Maybe bend the knees a little bit. And now feel the chest is up by the chin again. So big stretch in the neck. Keep the head steady. Close your eyes and just take a few breaths there. You can bend and straighten the knees a little bit. What's quite nice is to separate the feet. So a little bit of opening in the hips. And you can do an alternate bending and straightening in the legs, keeping the head still so we're not overworking the neck. A couple more breaths there. And then slowly draw the knees back in. We're going to come to shoulder stand. So holding on to the hips, knees are above the chest. Slowly raise the feet. So you don't want to bring them to vertical legs. Just have the feet somewhere above and over the head. Let the knees maybe bend slightly and bring the weight of the hips into the hands. Keep your head still here and take a few slow breaths. This inversion, really simple, really great way to reset the system. Just coming upside down can help to reset a busy head as well. It's almost like we can't remember what we're thinking about when we come back down again. Slowing the breath. Bending your knees, rolling your spine back down onto the ground, hugging your knees into your chest and give a few circles there. So just see how your back is feeling. We're going to take a twist and then one final back bend here, releasing the neck the other way. So let's start with just a twist. Bring the knees over to the side. You might want to bring your bum out the way first and then lower the knees down. And then turn your head towards your knees, so you're lying on your side, and then slowly raise the arm and open the arm out over to the side so you get this big opening and stretch through the shoulders. Turn the head towards the hand that's reaching. Take a few slow breaths there. And then turn your head away from the hand towards the knees and take a couple of breaths there. And then draw your knees back up. And we'll take the other side. So swing the bum out the way, bring the knees up and bring them right over so they're kind of up above the line of the hips. If you can, right over that way. And then start to bring your body over. So you're lying on your side, look away towards the knees, and then reach the free arm up and then extend your arm right out. So you start to feel that big opening in the chest and look out towards that hand and take a few breaths there, reaching through the shoulder, releasing the neck. Because all those back bends and that inversion can put a bit of pressure on the neck. So just making sure it's decompressed there and relaxed. Take another breath there. Keep the arm stretching and look away from it towards the knees. And take a few more breaths here. And then slowly bring the knees back in. And we're going to come to fish pose now. So this is a really nice chest opener to finish off and really good after a shoulder stand. So just circle the knees. And then this is a tricky one. If you haven't done this before, you might have to watch first and then come into it. So I'm lying on my arms. So I'm bringing my hands down underneath my hips, palms facing down. And again, really good for the chest, the thyroid, the throat, because we really open up the throat after the compression of plow and shoulder stand. So bring your arms, once your arms are underneath your body, then bend your elbows and almost like you're trying to sit up, but your hands stop you from coming all the way up. And then once you're up and you're looking, you can see your feet. Then look behind you, look up to the ceiling and back. And then see if you can lower down onto the top of your head. So the back, top of the head area. And feel how the throat is really open here. And after all that pressure in bridge, shoulder stand, really take some nice deep ujjayi breaths into the throat to open it up. If you want to try going a little bit deeper, go into Baddha Konasana in the feet, so the feet step in, knees go apart, soles of the feet touching, and then push the feet together a little bit. Press the hands and you'll feel your head floats there, so you can let the head dangle for a few breaths. And then slowly rest the head down, and then from here release the legs. And then lift the head up and lower your body down. Release your arms into Shavasana. And we'll just take a minute here of just feeling those practices. See how your energy's feeling, your mind. You should be a little bit more home in your body now. So again, feel your body on the inhale. And feel the ground you're lying on the exhale. Releasing down. Feel your body, feet and hands on the inhale. Feel the ground on the exhale. Feel your limbs, hands, feet, legs and arms. Inhale. Earth, ground, support. Exhale. And feel your hips and shoulders and torso, center of the body on the inhale. Exhale, release. Notice your head, your face, your mouth, jaw, and throat really soft. And from here you can step the feet in, roll over to your side, and come back up to sitting. Take a moment, just see how you're feeling. Feel the verticality of your spine, relax your shoulders. And bring your hands to your heart. And we'll close with a bow. Namaste.